All right. Yep. Yep. Yeah. So I made a mistake. So I wanted to be able to roll a cigarette while I did my last video. So I placed my camera inside this, so that well, let me show you what I mean. So if this is the phone, I placed it in there and it sat about like this, so that I didn't, and then I just set this down so I didn't have to babysit the fucking camera. And that's the end result. A real lo-fi audio there, but I watched it. I proof watched it, and it's all there. I mean, the audio, it's all there. You know, and so, but yeah, I feel like I really hit on a lot of good points. Only the audio is a fucking whatever. Even though it is audible, you could still hear pretty much everything. It's just lo-fi. More of a lo-fi quality than my videos typically are, which they are typically lo-fi videos anyways. So yeah, sometimes I eat the bear and sometimes the bear eats me, you know. Here's the deal. If I hadn't have done this, if the audio had been a better quality, would that change anything? Not at all. Absolutely not. If I were to make that video that I just posted to where it's like very high quality production value and everything, would that have changed anything? Absolutely not. And it goes back to what I'm talking about preaching, the preacher at the church. The preacher at the church, if he were to tell people what the Bible actually said, no matter what your thoughts are on the Bible, either way, if the preacher at the church were to tell the congregation what the Bible actually says, they'd all leave. They would go to another church that's 2 blocks down the street that's going to tell them what they want to hear. They don't want to hear what the Bible has to say. They just want the preacher to tell them what they want to hear. And it's the same with politicians. It's the same with all these YouTubers and bit shooters. All the greatest hits channels are all the same. That's why they are the greatest hits channels, is because they're telling the general population what they want to hear. It's very easy to tell people what they want to hear. For example, you know, you can watch, okay, like last night, I watched some video that was like a police officer's camera. And they went into a grocery store to talk to the manager of the store to try to get security video footage. Okay, and when you observe the interaction between the police officer and the store manager, it's all like kind of scripted. This is the way life works, you know. The store manager is just telling, is we all have to filter what we say, especially out in the real world, much more so than online. But so, everybody wears these masks. It's just like the police officer. The police officer, if the police officer were to just say what he really wanted to say, he'd be like, the police officer knows that video is videoing him. And so he knows that his superiors have access to that video and they can watch him and listen to and if he's like, and if while he's about his job, And he's like, starts complaining, like, this stupid motherfucker, man, why do I even have to do this? This is the stupidest fucking bullshit. You know, his superiors are going to see that. And so he has to filter what he's saying and everything. Whereas if he were to just say what he wanted, you know, he'd be like, dude, I've spent fucking 3 hours dealing with this stupid fucking bullshit, this stupid fucking lady, this stupid fucking store manager. These people fucking, dude, what the fuck? I did this job to police crime, real crime. Here I am dealing with this stupid fuck. You know, that's what he would be saying in real life. But because he's got the camera on and his superiors have access to it, he's filtering what he's saying and doing. This goes back to the politician telling people what people want to hear. The politician, you know, and you know, so I post this video and I feel like I'm talking like shit. This is real shit. This is probably some of the far more important stuff than what you typically see in popular and trending on your favorite platform. This is real shit, what I'm talking about. These people aren't real in popular and trending on your favorite platforms. They're doing the same thing that the police officer does. They know you're watching, and so they're censoring what their true intentions are. And if they're a greatest hits channel, their true intention is to get on the charts, get on the pop charts, get the next fucking greatest hit out. It's not about the truth. It's not about any of this. And dude, that is the simple reality. And so these greatest hits channels are, whatever they are providing that's useful, it cancels itself out. It cancels itself out because they're just selling you the survival food. They're selling you links to their Patreon. That's all this is. And so going back to the rebel without a cause, like, they don't have a cause. Their only cause is clicks, likes, views, subs, ratings, and, getting more Patreon donations and selling more of their fucking survival food and gold. And so the cause that they're presenting is a facade. There is no cause. And it's very easy to see, like, if you really look at it, if you're trying, it's not easy to see unless you're like trying to really pay close attention to what is the cause of these people. They don't have a direct cause. It is all over the place. It goes from GMO in the foods to chemtrails to the J's to, the jabs to, it has nothing to do, do you really think they care about clean air for you to breathe? They don't care. Do you think they care about clean water for you to drink? They don't. It's just like George Carlin said about politicians. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care. It's the same with these channels. They don't care about you. Do you think if you were in the situation I'm in, living in an 8-foot by 13-foot trailer out in the middle of nowhere with very limited access to resources, do you think they would care about you? You can't afford to donate to their Patreon. You can't afford to buy their gold. You can't afford, and because they're not even really addressing your issues, you're not even going to subscribe to their channel. They don't have any interest in you, man. And so it's like the rebel without a cause, dude. They claim to be rebellion, but why are they rebelling? Why? Oh, because why? Because of chemtrails. That's why they're rebelling. Because of poison in GMOs in your food. That's why they're rebelling. Because of fluoride in the water. These are the reasons. So you think that they care about you being able to drink clean water? They don't. It's obvious they don't. Like, this is like, again, like I said in the previous video, this is third grade level intellect. This is not like groundbreaking, like, oh man, you know, extra, extra, read all about it. Like, you should already know all this. You should have picked up on all this shit back in high school. And if you haven't, dude, you're totally not, don't have any idea what's going on. And you're the prime, you're prime fucking, you're prime fucking meat for these guys. They love all you stupid motherfuckers. There is no cause. They have no cause. So if they're fighting, okay, so these channels, you know, your favorite popular and trending channel, they're for the rights of the people. They're doing it for the people, right? But what people? Which ones? Just everybody. I mean, I'm telling you, like, you would have to be a stupid motherfucker to believe that. I mean, seriously. I don't know. But anyways, so I did that. The last video, I felt like it was good. Like the shit that I'm talking about, this is real, dude. This is real. But then again, my lo-fi. So let's continue to use music as an analogy. Back before the music industry aborted itself, like everything does, I don't know if you've noticed, YouTube aborts itself. BitChute is in the process of a full-on abortion. The music industry aborted itself decades ago. But before the music industry aborted itself, they would have talent scouts. And talent scouts would review music to decide if this is good music that their record label could take on and blah blah blah. Well, so a talent scout would have to be able to know how to listen to music. And this is I don't know, dude. I just don't think people are going to understand this. I don't see why they wouldn't understand it, though. Because, so with the talent scout, talent scouts have to be very careful. They're called AR representatives. They're the ones that listen to music. They listen to new bands to try to decide if they want to take on that band, if their record label wants to, you know, fund the album, that band's album. And so when they're listening to solicited demos, they have to listen to, is this good music? Because remember, we're talking about music industry abortion. We're talking about when the music industry used to actually care about music. They would have AR representatives listen to music to try to decide, is this the next hot thing? Is this good quality music? And so when AR representatives are listening to demos, they have to be very good at listening. It can't just take your average Joe Blow off the street and have him, you know, reviewing demos. And so you'll have demos that are very well produced and stuff, but it's just garbage. The music is garbage. It's just very well produced, but it's still shit. You know, it's not good music. And so, the AR representatives they hired would have to be able to determine, because a lot of people don't understand. They hear something that's well produced and they assume, well, that's good then. That's good because it's well produced. And in music, that's totally not the case. You can have something that's a recording that's well produced that musically is complete shit. And that's what AR representatives were for, is to be able to discern which of these demos are like good quality music. And just because something is well produced doesn't mean it's good quality. And so then they would also get demos that were not well produced. And they would have to listen to those too. And the reason is because you could get a demo that the audio is not very good quality, but the songwriting is excellent. And so AR representatives need to be able to have a good sense of discernment when they're reviewing all these things, right? So I'm putting out a video and the audio is fucking like in a little fucking in a cave, a mini cave. And so of course people are going to be like, this is shit, you know. But again, if I had done a very well produced and everything else, would it have made any difference? Absolutely not. Like none whatsoever. It would have made zero difference. Because people only hear what they want to hear. And my audience, the majority of my audience are in the same situation as me. They're living in an 8-foot by 13-foot trailer, or they're homeless out on the street. Those are my audience. They have limited access to the internet, you know? And to find a channel like mine is nearly impossible. It's like a needle in a haystack for any of those people to find a channel like mine. See, my audience is people like me. I live in an 8-foot by 13-foot trailer out in the middle of nowhere with limited access to basic needs resources. So my audience is people like me. But your average person like me isn't on the internet. And my audience is the homeless people that are living out on the street. Like none of these people have a lot more limited access to the internet than your average person. I mean, so why is my audience that people? Well, first of all, because that's who I relate with, you know? But also, when you're talking about cause, like somebody who has a cause, seems to me that if you want to fight the system, the best way to fight the system is to help those who are most victimized by the system first. Make sure that those that are most victimized by the system are addressed first. That seems to make sense to me. That's the only effective way to push back against the system and to fight the system. That's the only way. If you want to be for the people, you need to start with those people that are most in need and most negatively impacted by the system that is abusing them. So that's really the only cause when we're talking about causes and conditions. And so what are all these channels cause? What is their cause? Is it for the people? That isn't that the kind of the only, that's the assumption that you have to, because they're not going to tell you directly for some mysterious reason. I mean, we all know the reason. It's because they want clicks, likes, views, subscribers, just like the preacher. Why the preacher preaches to the congregation? Because when the basket comes around, people put money in the basket. So the preacher has to preach to those people that have money, so that when the basket comes around, there's money coming in the basket. This is all just third grade level intellect. I mean, the only person that wouldn't understand what I'm talking about is someone who doesn't want to understand what I'm talking about. And the majority of people don't want to understand, you know. It goes back to that saying, you can't convince a person of something when their paycheck is dependent upon them being ignorant of that thing, you know. So, like, to truly do like, push a cause that is for the people is not going to gain traction. It's not going to gain traction because you have to start with the people that are most in need and most victimized by the establishment. If your cause is anti-establishment, well, then the natural course order of things is to start with those people that are most negatively impacted by the establishment, and you have to be honest about it. You can't, you can pretend. You can just be dishonest, which is what everybody's doing. But to take an honest assessment of which people in U.S. society are most negatively impacted by the establishment, well, that would be like, the homeless and stuff. Like, those are some of the people that are most negative. But that's the only way to really push back against the system, to be anti-establishment, is to address those people who are most negatively impacted by the establishment first things first, to invert the to invert the top-down system. The top-down system needs to be completely inverted. That's the only way to be anti-establishment. And so you got all these all this milquetoast anti-establishment. It's all the whole fucking all these platforms are all dominated by milquetoast fucking anti-establishment people. They don't want to invert the top-down system. They just want it to be just what they want. They don't care about the people at the bottom. And inverting the top-down system would mean that the people at the bottom that are most negatively impacted by the establishment would be the people that would get addressed first, because they're most in need. They're most negatively impacted by the establishment. See, these people don't want that. That would be an inversion of the top-down system. These people don't want it. Just like Bernie Sanders doesn't want it, just like Trump doesn't want it, just like nobody wants. These people are just the same as any of these politicians. They're all the same. It's all the same. The only true anti-establishment is to invert the top-down system. That's the only true anti-establishment. And do you see any of these people talking about this at all? Never. Never. When it is the sole and only anti-establishment principle. That's the only way to effectively address the establishment, is to invert the top-down system. In complete inversion of the top-down system. That would be the only way to effectively address the establishment. That's the only true anti-establishment person. And when you look at all these people, they're wearing their anti-establishment badges all over, trending and popular. But are any of them talking about completely inverting the top-down system? None of them. Not one single one of them. They're all fakes and frauds. They always have been, and they always will be. None of this will ever change. As you see, it only gets worse and worse, like YouTube aborting itself. BitChute's in the process of aborting itself using the same fucking thing, because it's all about money. Everything is all about money. That's why they don't want to invert a top-down system. See, the middle class benefits more from a top-down system than the underclass. Don't you understand that? When you have the pyramid and it's a top-down system, the middle class benefits more from the top-down system than the underclass. Those people at the bottom benefit least from the top-down system. Those in the middle benefit way more from the top-down system than those at the bottom. I mean, this is all third grade level, this is like basic. And they've got all these people that are watching their channels, like Crow House and all these guys. Their audience, their general audience is low IQ. They're not anti-establishment at all. It's all about self-interest. And again, that's what the preacher does. The preacher preaches the self-interest of the congregation, so that when the basket comes around, those people will put money in the basket. But the irony of it all is the best way to address everyone's self-interest as a whole is to invert the top-down system, in a complete inversion of the top-down system. That is the most beneficial for everyone. But you never see or hear them talking about it. They never do. And it's all by design. They intentionally don't talk about this. It's all intentional, but they're not being honest with you. They're not telling you that they are intentionally avoiding talking about inverting the top-down system. They're not honest with you. They just bullshit you. They're just fucking bullshitters, dude. It's so crazy, man. It's so fucking crazy, dude.